are rolling.
Josh Arnold, investment consultant, brings you Garage Logic podcast number 1809, July 14th, 2026. 108 days, no, 108 degrees on this day in 1936, 50 degrees on this day in 1930. Call Josh Arnold at 952-925-5608 for a free 48-minute consultation.
Hail the flashlight king.
And now, from the mayor's office above the boathouse on the east shore of Spoon Lake, it's Garage Logic with Chris Reavers manning Technology Corner, Kenny Olson from the Krabby Coffee Shop, John Heidt in the newsroom, and of course, the rookie. Here is your flashlight king, fireworks commissioner, and the keeper of common sense, your mayor, Joe Souchere.
Hi, everybody. You think we live in Minnesota. We live in Laos, where everyone has a cargo bike. That's a bike you can put 4 or 5 kids on and then go to the grocery store and stop at Menards and bring home some sheets of plywood. Apparently, cargo bikes are the latest rave. It was in the Minneapolis paper yesterday. Today, the Minneapolis Times has a big piece on cargo bikes. Have you seen a cargo bike?
I have. I've been seeing them for years, and when I look at them, Joe, I look at them with pity.
We live
really
in Laos. We live in Bangkok, Thailand. We have cargo bikes, and that's how we should get around because it builds community.
Yeah,
I've always
it sure
been
does.
puzzled by what that means, community building. Does that mean you stop and just go into somebody's house to get a drink of water or sit around and wonder what they're having for lunch?
It's
What does it
connecting.
mean?
It's connecting communities, Joe.
With cargo bikes.
Last week I saw one in transit from Hubbard
How many
Broadcasting
kids
to.
were on it? The whole family?
Well,
the
I
whole
was going to
family on
get
it?
there. I was in transit from here to Abbott Northwestern Hospital.
Yeah.
And it had some supplies on it, and he had guy riding the
Gotta
bike.
have a pilot.
And then he had another guy on the back kind of holding down the fort, and he's weaving in and out of traffic on Lake Street. And I thought, well, that's an interesting way to transport goods.
Yeah, that's the way we should be doing it. Somebody named Laura.
Like we're in Vietnam.
Right. With a motor scooter with 14 people on it and a rug. They always got the carpet with them. They're taking the carpet someplace. Laura Gronges Mitchell is the founder and head librarian of the Minnesota Cargo Bike Library.
Oh, that's precious.
She was the Advocate of the Year in Bike MN's 2025 Community Awards. Bike MN's panel of judges recognized Laura for her outstanding advocacy for safer streets and community building. Okay, congratulations. As the founder of the Minnesota Cargo Bike Library, she has designed and launched a organizational partnership to expand access to cargo bikes, offering a small collection of electric cargo bikes for free to residents for up to a week. And the Minneapolis Times talked to her about her vision for this transformative initiative and how cargo bikes are for everyone. Well, they're not for everyone. Maybe they're for 0.1% of the population.
Joe, I could definitely see an electrician using a cargo bike because he'll have all his conduit on there. He'll have various rolls of wire nuts. He'll have 2-3 ladders, all sorts of test equipment and basic tools.
I've already seen a bicycle going through town that delivers bread.
How about a painter? You could have all the paint,
Put
the
a big
scaffolding,
step ladder on there.
the canvas, the various ladders. Yeah, it would work great.
And then he parks it at a job site and gets ripped off blind.
Hey, Kenny comes out and says, "You better lock up that cargo bike because we've got thieves in the neighborhood."
Here's the goal. The goal is to ensure Minnesota residents have the knowledge, skills, and resources to safely and confidently replace car trips. We have a small fleet of electric cargo bikes that folks can borrow for free for about a week. Prior to borrowing a bike, people are required to attend a 1-hour in-person orientation to learn how to ride the cargo bike. Honest to God.
Joe,
Honest to
I'm
God.
going to sheetrock my basement. So could I go get about 80 sheets of sheetrock with that cargo bike?
Then they found somebody who says their family life has improved. Well, maybe it was the winner, Laura. She said she was inspired to create the program after personally experiencing the way a cargo bike changed my own family's life for the better. Okay. We save money and get more exercise and have more fun. And we feel good about lowering our impact on the environment. And then, so she started this library. Good for her. There will be some people that take advantage of this, but a lot of us can't really count on a cargo bike. It might be age, it might be infirmity, it might be you're too busy, it might be you actually have a job that you want to get to.
I beg to differ.
Okay.
If you look deeper in the story, she'll give you the many, many uses for a cargo bike, Joe.
Well, here I go.
You'll find that it would really affect your life.
Well, I'm looking. Oh.
You can take the kids to daycare.
You can go to daycare, you commute to
school.
work. No, if you ride your bike to work, you pretty much ride a bike for a living. Run errands with large, bulky items. You can transport art
Oh,
from Art-A-Whirl. What in God's name is wrong with these people?
well, they can't see beyond their own face.
Bring
That's the problem.
adult friends with mobility needs to parts of the city that are inaccessible by car.
Sure.
Can you see me stuffing my old man?
So you
my
stuff
father.
the guy on there that can't walk, and you haul
Hold on.
him over to a bridge.
No, I'd like to see Matthew and Bob.
Yeah.
Take on
Put your
this.
wooden leg over the side there. You can take dogs to the vet. Oh, you can go sightseeing. You can go garage sailing.
Again, that's made for Matthew. We need a GL cargo bike for Matt.
And get around on a date night with one partner hauling the other on the
Sweet
bike.
Jesus, these people are just.
What?
Hey, wait. Can you can apricots on the cargo
Depends
bike?
on the size of the cargo bike. Well, I guess, you know what?
Best of luck to you.
Sure. Go for
Joe,
it.
This is for somebody whose entire life is between the Mississippi and Lake Calhoun and downtown Minneapolis and Richfield.
So Kenny
that's
nailed
how
it.
far they can see, and that's their world right there.
It's
See,
Matthew,
I would-
the 6-block radius.
I would say something, but what I would say would be wrong of me to accuse the cargo bike proponents of.
Well, say it anyway.
Okay.
Please.
What it smacks to me of one of the many ways Mysterians reject Western culture. It smacks to me of thinking that the way we live our lives and the way we pursue livelihoods is all wrong, and it should be done completely differently. And there's nothing wrong with riding a cargo bike. Have fun. And see, they would reject that. They would say, we're not rejecting Western civilization or Western culture. We're just cutting down on our car use and using a cargo bike. And they're right. So it would be wrong of me to suggest this much deeper motive behind it. I can't attribute to Laura Groyen-Jez Mitchell her wishes to replace American society as we know it with cargo bikes. That would be unfair of me. But that's what it looks like to me. And when I see this poor sap driving around town delivering bread on his bike, I'm thinking the day's coming. It's just going to be all bikes. We're going to get our food from bikes. And
What, Joe, the bigger thing here, and I know that's what you're alluding to, why are they so obsessed with telling us how to live our lives? Why can't they just leave us alone?
We can't even accuse her of that. She's
But
not.
that's what it is.
She founded a library where people who want to experiment with the cargo bike can go and give it a shot. And that's all she's guilty of. She's not guilty of anything insidious. She's not. She's probably got a great heart.
Are you super high right now?
No, I'm
Did you get into the gummies?
No, I'm.
This doesn't seem like you.
No, but I mean, it's so silly that you have to remember that it's going to affect 1/10 of the 1/10
well,
of 1%
you're
of
right.
the population.
Unfortunately, oh, go ahead, John.
She's. Did you look at her bio at
No,
all, Joe?
I did not look her up. God love her. God love her. I'm trying to stay on her good side.
Yeah,
here.
yeah, and I do whatever you want. I have no problem with that.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't,
what'd you find out?
It doesn't raise my hackles at all, the cargo bike thing. But I think this is part of your conversation. Perhaps she is the former leader of a group we have talked about in the past called Our Streets. Remember them?
Then I'm on the right track. She is trying to wreck Western society.
Yeah. She spent.
There he is. I know that guy.
Yeah. Hey, I'm Joe's back now.
She was for 3 years the board president at Our Streets.
Okay, so she'd be very comfortable ripping up I-94 and replacing it with a parkway with one tree on it. And
That's kind of where I was going because, yeah, this is all safe and fun, but this person's responsible for making actual decisions.
how I would address this to socialists. I'm going to go out on a limb and suspect she's a very big proponent of the DSA, for example.
You don't say.
But here's my question. Let's say you win DSA and cargo bike people, and pretty soon you have a city of no cars, it's just cargo bikes, and the only people living in the city basically are activists and graduate students. Where are you going to get the taxes to fund your lifestyle? Where are you going to get the taxes to provide the free things you want? You want health care, you want time, you want paid leave, you don't want to work. Where are you going to get the money to fund that? You're going to run out of other people's money. And so you can tear up 94 and you can reserve the streets for cargo bikes and bicycles and pedestrians, which is lousy treatment for people who have infirmities, but I guess you don't care about that. I guess, in fact, you're creating cargo bikes that are like cargo ambulances. You know, you could just stuff somebody on there on a cot or something and haul them in. But who's going to pay for the hospital?
Yeah.
Who's going to pay for anything that you imagine?
You know, you mentioned tearing up 94. Yeah. Try to get on your cargo bike, leave this building, and try to cross the river using 35E right now. Good luck on that cargo bike.
Well, no, but see, that's not in their vision.
No.
To cross the river in the future, you will go down and put the cargo bike on a wood raft that will get pulled across the river.
So to get to Mendota, it's going to take me 3 hours.
Take you a while. It might take you a while, but there will be no need for a Mendota. No.
Wow.
She was the Denver Teacher of the Year in May of 2012.
Sure.
Oh, in the failed academy? Wonder what she taught.
She does not teach anymore. She taught kindergarten. I'm on her LinkedIn page now. She taught kindergarten and first grade for 5 years, ending in 2014.
You know, again, she's probably a nice gal. We just have ideological differences. That's all.
We agree to disagree.
Because a cargo bike is so out of the realm of the world I live in that it's hard to identify with someone actually desiring one. For example, let's look at your life, Reavers.
Okay.
A cargo bike could not accommodate your life.
So I couldn't haul two kids and their baseball
equipment. You shouldn't be allowed
equipment.
to live where you
That's
live.
true. I should not.
You should be in a boxy apartment
Yep.
on Lake Street.
Yep.
Where the cargo bike could accommodate, pile the kids in there with their baseball equipment.
And we were going to head to St. Peter for our playoff game last night.
While.
Yeah, we might get there.
Just leave now.
On a 96-degree day.
Okay, that's another great question. Are there air-conditioned cargo bikes?
Joe, it's funny you mentioned that. I was just on a website that I won't name since we have a direct competitor, I'm sure, with them. And you can get a refrigeration unit cargo bike, but
kidding. Are you kidding?
No, but that's to haul stuff. So that's to haul food and whatnot.
Six-pack of beer.
Yeah, grocery items, things of that nature.
Not you.
Not me.
No. Maybe you could get a chill seat.
See,
Turn on the AC, Dad. I'm sweating.
To the euphorians, I'm just the guy yelling, "Get off my lawn."
Yep, angry man yells at cloud.
Yeah, I mean, I'm yelling at clouds. But
Yep.
But when you look deeper into what we've discovered about the mystery, I'm not yelling at clouds at all. I'm issuing an alert, an alarm, a warning. This is ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. But it's not ridiculous to the people who keep voting for Chugs and Chavez and the rest of them because they don't want the life we have.
We want to go to the art fair.
They want to go to Art World and haul home some ding-ding piece of art on their cargo bike.
You know, to bring an off-air conversation on the air, Kenny, you know what Joe would say when he was on his air-conditioned unit cargo bike? He'd say, well, I know it's 94 degrees outside, but when I'm in motion, there's a nice breeze.
Right.
So it's only about 82.
No, yeah, I know what you're doing.
Joe.
We had the old conversation about how our thermostat set at 77, and you guys say that's too hot. And I say when you walk in from a 95-degree day and humid, 77 feels fine.
It's not really a conversation. It's us explaining to you your mental issues.
Right.
That you're not right. Well, I'm looking at a cargo bike, and you know what would fit in that front storage compartment really nice? A slant 6. Go to Chrysler, pull out one of those old slant 6s out of those Valaris or whatever the hell they are.
No, I'll take you a step
Stuff it in there.
I
What
can
do you
take
got?
you a step further. Inevitably, what will happen, if and it's terribly unlikely, if cargo bikes became the norm, it will just logically follow that we'll go full Cuba on the deal, and people will start installing old lawnmower engines
Absolutely.
in them and old car engine. We'll be restoring cars from 1912. We'll go full Cuba on the cargo bikes. That's what will happen. And then guys will be opening parts stores where you can get new flywheels for your Briggs and Stratton lawnmower engine power your cargo bike.
There's a YouTube channel with 3.17 million followers called Grind Hard Plumbing, and that is exactly what they do. They have taken those plastic cars that the kids ride around the yard in,
Yep.
and they've stuffed like CR250 motors in them, or even bigger plastic wheels, and they fly around at 80 miles an hour in these little piles of crap.
If they win, if the cargo bike crowd wins, you will have gasoline-powered big wheels.
Yeah, Grind Hard has already done that.
Yeah. You will have gasoline-powered big wheels.
Yep.
Because people are going to realize, that cargo bike was fun once.
Yeah, exactly.
And then I realized I got to have some motion here.
I
need some motion.
There was a great post because everyone's times are
Fix
tough right
that
now.
damn thing.
Times are tough right now, Joe. And there was a great post about a guy that said, "Well, I made a fortune delivering meals via DoorDash. I got a cargo bike,
Yeah.
and it turns out I'm making $5 every meal, and I made $1 million because I got hit by a car, and the settlement was 1.3 mil."
Say, we saw a lot of great fireworks over the 4th, but the celebration is continuing with the Center of the American Experiment hosting Minnesota's 250th block party, Saturday, July 25th, noon to 2 p.m. They don't keep you forever. Bing, bang, boom. Have a great party and move on. At the state capitol, noon to 2 p.m., Saturday, July 25th, with live music, food trucks, free ice cream, face painting, patriotic speeches, and more. They want to celebrate our incredible country on the steps at the state capitol with food, friends, and good old-fashioned fun for the whole family. You can ride your cargo bike over there. Minnesota's year-long celebration of the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. Any questions? Go to the events page at AmericanExperiment.org. AmericanExperiment.org.
who spends hours in hardware stores sifting through the nuts and bolts of life. Joe Souchere.
Summer's half over. You've got to get to Warner's Dock in New Richmond, Wisconsin, or at least get on the website, warnersdock.com. They've got a big selection of pontoons on sale right now, both Premier and Bentley. And not just pontoons, they have a massive selection of fishing boats and all the accompanying accessories. Like I said, start that adventure on the website so you can see what they have, warnersdock.com. Get familiar. And then stop over. They have a very large air-conditioned showroom in New Richmond, nice and comfortable on a day like today. If all you want to do is fish, let me tell you something, buddy. Today's Alumacraft isn't your dad's Alumacraft. It's amazing, actually. Warner's Dock specializes in these amazing new Alumacraft fishing boats powered by Suzuki, Yamaha, and Mercury outboards, three of the best. They love trades. That means they have a full selection of quality used fishing boats and pontoons in stock right now. They've been around for 79 years. They learn a thing or two. That's 4 generations of family that has learned to be committed to keeping your family happy all summer long, from sales to service, storage, pontoons, fishing boats. What have I missed? Docks. Warner's, they sell docks. It's right there in the name. They're in New Richmond, the place for all your boating needs, and on the web, warnersdock.com.
Here's a serious comment. Cargo bikes or bicycles in general used for your transportation only accommodate a lifestyle with completely diminished aspirations. How's that? They accommodate lifestyles of completely diminished aspirations. They suggest settling for much less than might be available if you took other means of transportation.
And I might add, happily settling for less.
Yeah.
That's, I mean, they're obviously happy, right?
Okay, and that's fine. If your goal is to simplify your life and to not have car payments and car insurance and buying gasoline, and somehow you have a job or you have some means of feeding your family and putting a roof over your head, and you can do that by riding a bicycle, I think that's tremendous. That hooray, hooray, hooray. It depends on what your goals are and your aspirations. So that's how I would sum that up. And that's why I say I look at the lifestyle I lead, and it could not be accommodated by a cargo bike. It just couldn't be.
All I'm picturing is you on one. She sends you down to Lund's.
I got a scooter for that.
Go get some. Yeah. See, and you have made adjustments. But I'm picturing you on the cargo bike, and you got to go run and get some supplies for the kids of the kids you used to have. That'd be fun. That'd be a fun video.
All my fantasies like that are post-apocalyptic, meaning we no longer have gasoline or electricity.
Well, so are mine.
And so that's
what it would have to come to for me.
It would come in handy, ride 5 miles into town and get supplies.
May I add one thing that I don't think that this person has taken into account with a cargo bike?
You may.
There's this thing around here that happens. It's called winter.
7 months a year. That's bad cargo riding.
January,
7 months a year.
Trying to slosh through that stuff.
Starting about
Chris,
November.
I've seen them. I've seen them in February on Franklin Avenue over the Mississippi.
Well, we joke about it all the time. Pelham, the bike lane gets plowed before the actual street does.
Yeah.
We have an example of a black woman wishing to be made less than. It's around a variety of news sites that a historian who's authored a book about slavery has been found by academia to be, her book was full of errors. And she's now saying it's racist for you to point out that I made errors in my book. She's begging to be made less than. She's essentially saying, you must forgive me for the errors and not count them. Her name is Carrie Greenidge, And she wrote a book in 2022 called The Grimkeys, which tells the story of a prominent South Carolina slaveholder family who later played a role in the abolitionist movement and was lauded by critics, and it won the American Historical Association's Joan Kelly Memorial Prize. But skepticism grew as her prose came under the microscope of historians and scholars, including Myra Glenn, an author and retired American history professor at Elmira College. This particular story I happen to be reading from the New York Post. In a 2024 examination of the Grimkeys, Glenn called it deeply flawed and called out that Greenidge all too often lacks the evidence to substantiate many of her major claims. She added that her work is also riddled with factual errors and repeatedly omits needed endnotes. Presented with these and other disputed findings discovered through Glenn's analysis by the New York Times, Greenidge immediately cast herself as a victim and accused her growing roster of critics as racism. How could that be? I am heartbroken that a field I have given my life to can treat me this way, she either told the New York Post or the Times. The attack on black women academics is real. My God, what have we come to that she believes that it's racism to point out that she made a lot of mistakes?
Just say anything you want. That's what she wants to be told.
Though she claimed to have never plagiarized or fabricated anything, I don't think anyone's accusing her of that.
No.
She conceded there are citations that were misattributed, probably. Okay. The resulting firestorm has since seen the Grimkeys removed from her author page on the publisher's website.
That's not good.
And her entry as a winner of the Joan Kelly Memorial Prize was absent from the American Historical Association's homepage.
They'd take it back if they could.
She also seems to have lost her job as a tenured associate professor in the Department of Studies in Race, Colonialism, and Diaspora at Tufts University, a spokesman for the Greater Boston School, telling the Times that she was no longer employed there.
Joe, it's hard to be fired as a tenured professor.
It really is.
It's really difficult.
The spokesman declined to elaborate on the reason for her departure. Pressed by the outlet over the accelerating cascade of scrutiny, including her apparent removal from Tufts and the forfeiture of her prizes, Greenidge again claimed it was all the work of anti-black sentiment. We're getting nowhere, are we?
No.
We're just getting nowhere.
Yeah.
Lady, I don't care if you're black or red or yellow. I'm perfectly willing to read your work, and it's either holds up or it doesn't. I don't care what color your skin is.
Yeah.
We're getting nowhere. We're going backwards. We are going. How can you live in a society where you can't criticize people based on their skin color? You can't. She accused two senior historians on the university's peer review panel of being hostile towards black women in academia and argued that the review process by the school was kicked off by complaints from a white woman scholar. She declined to name any of the individuals in question. She even hinted that her race played a part in the New York Times writing about her. Sweetheart, the New York Times would have bent over backwards to promote you had you been factual.
Right.
The New York Times is not in the business of denigrating black female authors about anything. My God in heaven, where are we? Where can we possibly be? The immaturity here and the duplicitousness is just beyond the pale. I'm supposed to believe that it would be racism to point out the woman's errors in her book.
What is it when I point out issues with, I think his name is Shelby Foote, historian, or what's the other guy? Is it Hirsch? Seymour
Hirsch?
Seymour Hirsch, is he a
He's
historian?
a white guy.
Yeah. So is that me being against white people or me being against inaccuracies?
Well, in a GL world, you're against inaccuracies.
No, it's Stephen Ambrose. That's
Stephen
what I was
Ambrose.
thinking. Yeah, Stephen Ambrose, because he, if you ask me, takes a lot of liberties, to put it mildly. And I don't see anybody calling racism there.
I just can't imagine. She sounds like a very well-educated, successful woman who did write a book in which she apparently made a number of mistakes. And she has no ability, apparently, to acknowledge that. It's just a sad commentary on where we are. How can she be dealt with? And I am surprised that the failed academy, if in fact they got rid of her because of these mistakes, I'm surprised that they did. They must be egregious mistakes. They must be so outrageous that they couldn't be overlooked.
Right. Well, that's what I took away from it. Yeah. The one thing that I found disappointing about the story is they don't actually tell us what the mistakes were. They're just talking about the aftermath here. I really want to see an example.
There
of
are some
mistakes.
stories that say apparently she didn't supply evidence for some of the stuff she was, saying happened. And
Yeah.
so since there was no attribution as to where that information came from.
That drives me crazy about
Okay, well,
his...
now wait a minute. Is this a work of fiction or nonfiction?
Nonfiction. This
So
is
there
a real
was
story.
really a family named the Grimkeys.
Yes, there was a pair of sisters, actually.
Ah, all right. And she's attributing to them possibly some things that didn't happen throughout history.
Yes. Yeah.
right.
The family was a big slaveholding family, 300 slaves.
Right.
And she put some stuff in the book, apparently, that incidents
Right.
that there was no attribution as to where anybody
Incidents
ever.
that cast the Grimkeys in poor light.
Yeah, the sisters.
Well, how
yes.
much poor light do you want to be
Well,
than just a slaveholder?
You know what it
There's your
sounds
poor
like?
I
light.
was thinking that too, but
Just hearing you say that, John, it sounds like the liberties that Hollywood takes with nonfiction when they
stuff.
decide to turn something into a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think because it's a movie, you're kind of you get what you pay for.
Yeah, I get PO'd is what I get.
This, I would imagine, given the circle in which she publishes, was treated as a very serious
Yeah.
product.
Well, they
from
use
this
words
woman
like
and
academia. Joe. They
Here's
use words
an
like that.
example. Among the problems identified was the use of quotes from letters exchanged between the Grimke sisters that could not be found in the University of Michigan's archive, as Grinridge's citation suggested. So she had citations saying, here's where she found this, but that didn't actually exist.
apparently the University of Michigan must have in its archives the handiwork of the Grimkeys.
Correct, yes. Yep.
And she was citing it, but when it went to be found, it was non-existent.
Yeah, it didn't exist at all. And there's a couple other situations in the book where she basically tells a story of what happened, but with no attribution as to where she found that information. And other historians say, there's no record of this. I've never heard of this. Where did this come from?
She could have just said, oh, man, I was on deadline. I was in a hurry. That's a shame that she thinks it's racist. That's terrible. We're nowhere. We're going backwards. In race relations in this country, we have gone backwards. I don't know if there was a peak moment in the last 7,500 years when it looked like we were going to get over the hump and everything was going to be okay. But if there was that moment, we're a long way from it. We've gone the other way. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. I hold Obama partly responsible for that. I know he was a well-loved guy and certainly articulate and wonderful in many areas of his life, but he did nothing that I'm aware of to improve race relations. Nothing. And he could have. It started with the cop in Boston. And it just never stopped. He never passed up an opportunity to play that card. And I just thought, oh, my God, we've elected a black American. Let's go here. This is going to be the cure-all for everything. And it didn't work out that way.
We came out further divided,
We're going backwards. Gee whiz. That's a shame that this lady, by taking the position she's taken, she's ruining her career.
Well, she's ruining their history, too, because these Grimke girls...
Well, they might have been complete crackpots, these Grimkes.
No, they were against their parents.
Oh.
Their parents owned these 300 slaves. They did not. They were against it. So it sounds like it's can you imagine having 300 slaves?
I mean, that casts enough pall on the Grimke family. I don't think you got to make up any stories.
And then so the two sisters rejecting that is a fascinating
That's a cool
tale.
story.
Yeah.
And she blew it. And now we're racist for pointing that out. That's a shame. Just a shame. Gee whiz. Holy mackerel.
There's actually a lot of writing about the Grimke sisters.
I
had never heard of them until this story.
I've never heard of the Grimkes until now. I love the name, the Grimkes. What state did they live in? Were they Carolinas or they
South?
Thank
South
you.
Carolina.
Thank
Oh, I meant South Carolina. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm going to tell you something.
Lower Carolina.
Well, I was looking for that, Chris. I don't know what happened to it. I had some stuff here.
It's almost like you need a folder.
I had one.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened to it. I don't know. Oh, here it is, right here. You're talking about those cargo bikes. And not even EcoFun has a cargo bike in stock that I'm aware of. But if electric cargo bikes...
But if it sweeps the nation...
they'll be first to have it.
Absolutely.
They're the electric bike capital of the world. Now, mostly they're bikes ridden for recreation. I'm sure many people who rely on bicycles for their transportation have also done business at EcoFun because it's the best selection of electric bikes in Minnesota, if not the state, and they're on sale. Excuse me, starting at $8.99. There's hundreds of e-bikes in stock. And Kaylin Bloom, excuse me, I have a frog in my throat. Tim's daughter is an expert on these bikes, and you will leave with the right fit, the right comfort, the right size tires, the right seat height, the right handlebars. No need to leave there without any question being answered. They also have motorcycles and scooters that turn every urban errand into an adventure. $14.99, the scooters are on sale starting at $14.99, and you're going to do 90 miles worth of errands on 1 gallon of gas? I do. Oh, and I love to beat the man. Yamaha Wave Runners and Kawasaki jet skis in stock. Check out the full lineup at EcoFunMotorsports.com. It's EcoFun Motorsports in Forest Lake / Columbus. It's right west of the interstate on Highway 97. It's 3 roundabouts and you're there. Brand new, beautiful. It's going to be the most fun store you've ever entered. And down in Burnsville on the service road of life near County Road 42. EcoFunMotorsports.com.
I was 17, my old man was 55. If you do the math between the two of us, that's 72 years of life. An eternity, so it seemed to me. How could anything live that long? Now I say my folks were only 84 the year that they passed on. For a little while it seems you got time to choose your dreams. Pretty soon you look around and you see 100 years ain't what it used to be. And my grandpa Roy when he was a boy in 1904. He was taught by men who fought in the actual Civil War. And only 8 decades passed, and my high school class put the tassels on the other side. Started on our way full of naivete on the great American ride. The months and years slide past, each more quickly than the last. Pretty soon you look around and you'll see 100 years ain't what it used to be. Oh, got it!
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, Johnny Heidt. Oh, yeah.
He did the guitar face.
Ibuprofen's under buy again in my online shopping cart. Every week I learn of something else I should be doing for my heart. If I use the wrong pillow, I might have.
It's the end of the world as we know it, and he feels fine. Joe Souchere.
Man, I got to tell you what. You know, it was a big hit over the 4th of July. 4th of July? 4th of July Reavers family gathering celebration. The blackberry lemonade that I brought to the family gathering. They said, holy sweet Moses, where did you get this stuff? And I said, well, duh, Harmony Spirits. HarmonySpirits.net. That's the website where you can click the Buy Online tab and have that wonderful stuff sent right to your front door. But boy, oh boy, we are in store for another great stretch of weather. So head down to Harmony, Minnesota, and stop in at the tasting room and say hi to Larry and say hi to Damon. Say hi to the entire crew, and you can sample all of those great tastings that they have down there. And that's a rotating menu throughout the summer, by the way, of great handcrafted cocktails made right in the tasting room. But grab yourself a 4-pack to go. The blackberry lemonade, that's a huge hit in my home. But there's everything that you'd want mixed with gin, rum, vodka, whiskey, bourbon. It's all there. And also, please do me a favor. Continue to go into your local liquor store and ask for the Harmony brand by name. That is truly how they're going to continue to create and spread the good news about Harmony Spirits. HarmonySpirits.net. Click the Buy Online tab. And by the way, thanks to all of you GLers that have been stopping in and posting about Harmony Spirits on social media. Make sure that you mention that you heard about them right here on the Garage Logic podcast.
Here's Mr. John Heidt.
Thank you, Joe. This news brought to you by North American Baking Company. Story we had yesterday, update, the Boundary Waters Canoe Area Wilderness has closed entry points as more than a dozen wildfires continue to burn in northern Minnesota. The forced closure took effect at 12:01 this morning, covers all BWCA entry points. On Monday, the Superior National Forest said the campfire spread over 4 miles in a half a day with the extreme weather and fire conditions. As of this morning, it's burned 1,500 acres and is 0% contained. Officials said the fire started after a lightning storm last week, have intensified through repeated dry and windy days. They said they did not have a specific number of people still in the Boundary Waters, but rangers are going to 1,900 campsites to notify people. Hennepin County Attorney's Office considering charges against a suspect or suspects identified after fireworks were aimed at the home of Minnesota Senator John Hoffman over the 4th of July holiday weekend. A Minnesota state trooper has been stationed outside the Hoffman home since the incident. It happened at their home in Champlin, where last year Hoffman and his wife Yvette suffered a total of 17 gunshot wounds. Through a spokesman, the Hoffmans declined comment about this latest incident. Sources told our friends at 5 Eyewitness News the fireworks incident was captured on a doorbell camera, including the voices of a suspect and or suspects yelling at the Hoffman family. Champlin police wouldn't confirm or deny if an incident happened and said if it did, there wouldn't be a report for 7 to 10 days. However, the Hennepin County Attorney's Office confirmed a report that's been forwarded to them, and a spokesman says the case is in the pipeline for review regarding possible charges against a suspect or suspects who have been identified. A decision could be made this week, or it could take longer, according to that person.
Feral human beings.
From the Star Tribune, after battling for months about which version of the Minnesota's flag to display, the Champlin City Council has found a new way to compromise: fly no state flag at all. The northwest suburb was one of the largest cities to vote earlier this year to keep flying the old state flag. Several small suburbs, exurbs, and towns throughout greater Minnesota have done the same, rejecting...
We're rolling it right now, John, looking at them all. Janesville, Cabatoga.
Rejecting the new design that's largely unpopular and has become a flashpoint. Champlin's decision to wave the 1983 flag, get it, waved, roiled the community.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Clever.
Roiled the community.
Motorville. No, Manderville, I'm sorry.
Motorville?
Hooterville.
Yeah.
Helped set off an unusually dramatic special election for a council seat in Champlin, which usually are, well, kind of sleepy events. The local politics got so heated that candidates and residents reported death threats and doxing. So, yesterday, after months of packed meetings and bitter fights, the city council decided to jump out of the hot water, approving a formal flag and banners policy that includes leaving the state flag packed away. One resident in attendance likened the council's action to parents taking a toy away from siblings who can't stop fighting about it. Mayor Ryan Sabas said that analogy of a parent taking the toy away is pretty spot on. Misgivings over the flag decision reached new heights during the special election in the spring. Tim Huttner, who had been temporarily appointed to the council, was running to fill the ward seat. The race got ugly, and Huttner argued that much of the controversy started with the decision to fly the old flag, which, by the way, he supported. Huttner lost his race to the more progressive Rachel Wales in May. At Monday's meeting, Sabas said he's hopeful the issue will come up again at the state level. Councilmember Jessica Tesdale supported the decision to stop flying any state flag, saying it's not a city government's job to wade into partisan issues.
You know what this tells me, John? Champlin is just close enough to the country's tallest buildings.
I don't know where you guys fall on this topic, but I call the BS flag. I find it extremely hard to believe that anyone is issuing.
We got to take Champlin off the crawl.
We can when our assistant gets back next week.
Champlin's on the crawl. It's got to come off.
I'm throwing the BS flag. I can't for the life of me believe that someone actually issued a death threat over a Minnesota state flag. I say that's BS.
It was, I believe the guy who said that was the guy we had on as a guest, Chris.
Who is it?
Chris Huttner. Remember? We had him on.
That guy on.
Somebody seriously issued a death threat over the state flag?
I don't know. Let's let it go.
Both sides said they had received
Wow.
threats, doxing and threats about it.
Okay.
A horse-drawn buggy driver was injured after colliding with a car in Fillmore over the weekend, Fillmore County, that according to the Minnesota State Patrol. Investigators say that the horse-drawn buggy and a 2015 Chevrolet Camaro were both traveling westbound when the crash happened. The State Patrol lists alcohol as a suspected factor in the crash for the Camaro driver, a 76-year-old man. It happened on Highway 16 near Sheridan Street West at about 6:15 in the evening. And the American Red Cross has declared an emergency blood shortage after its blood supply fell nearly 25% last month. Shortage comes as hospitals deal with more trauma calls during the summer. Red Cross says the need is especially critical for platelets, O-positive, and B-negative blood types. Bryce Johnson is CEO of the American Red Cross in Minnesota and the Dakotas. He said, "We're asking people to come in and donate when they can. We know summers are busy for everybody. It's a great opportunity. Take an hour. You can make a huge difference in the lives of folks around the country and locally." In return, locally, by the way, anybody who comes to donate through July 31st will get a Fandango movie ticket, up to a $15 ticket price and fees.
That's blood, not plasma, right?
Yes.
Why do you get paid for plasma? You don't get paid for blood, but they take blood in both cases.
I can't answer that.
I can't either. All right, then. Why don't we take a quick
A lot
break?
of good you two are. I remember when my plasma check was a big part of my income.
I know people that sell that to make car payments. Isn't that
I
weird?
used to get
How much
that.
is it worth?
I'd get, I think, 30 a week, and I would go to Montanitas for the happy hour taco bar, and that would be lunch and dinner.
Yeah, it's more
One
than that
beer
now.
and 10 tacos.
There you go. Why don't we take a quick break and contemplate all of this and hear from Mr. Sushi
I don't
Ray?
even know how to blend
lot,
this in
wasn't it?
because I want to talk to you about a garage floor. Polyurea garage floors by Installed Building Solutions. They handle this state, and that's a tough chore. Now this is the current technology, polyurea. I have the older technology. This polyurea, it's not going to fade. It's not going to crack. They're very tough. Most floors are installed in just one day, so you can get your garage back quickly. And as you know, if you've ever had an epoxy garage floor, it's the only way to go. Easy to clean, easy to maintain, and tough enough for trucks and tools and how busy your garage is. And it always looks polished and professional. A coated garage floor just feels better. It's cleaner, brighter, and more finished every time you walk into that cylinder vault. Get a hold of Installed Building Solutions at IBS Coating, COATING, IBScoating.com. These are the best floors on the market. It's the most current technology. IBScoating.com.
Trouble getting out of bed. My hair grows in my ears and nose now more than on my head. As a kid, to me, ancient history was something like World War I. But I arrived close to that time, and this year as I sing this song, and I'm starting to find I can wrap my mind around life is brief and dear. I can hardly believe my baby girl's turned 26 this year. For a little while it seems you got time to choose your dreams. Pretty soon you look around and you'll see, everybody, 100 years ain't what it used to be. Before you know it, you're 63, making plans for Medicare A and B. You look around yourself and you see, 100 years ain't what it used to be.
The earth is not your mother. The Joe Souchere Show.
North American Banking Company is here for you and your family. Got some travel ball expenses? Sure do. Go to North American Banking Company and they can get you on track because they have decided to create a better banking experience for their customers where you get to know your banker and they also get to know you. And you know what? There's been a ton that has changed since 1998. However, this commitment to being a true community bank in the Twin Cities, that has not changed and it will never change because you get that feeling anytime that you walk into any one of their 6 Twin Cities locations. Roseville, 50th and France, that's the home of yours truly. But you can also see them in Woodbury, Hastings, Shoreview, Maple Grove. It's wonderful. And they have banking experts that make it so easy and also convenient. And they are locally owned and operated. And that means all loan decisions are made right here in the Twin Cities. They don't sell these to out-of-state companies. No, all of that money stays right here in the Twin Cities. But see it for yourself. nabankco.com to learn more. Once again, it's banking done differently. North American Banking Company, member FDIC, is an equal housing lender. Johnny?
Thanks, Chris. Americans with a break on inflation last month. Better deals at the gas station and cooler price increases across much of the economy. Over the month, consumer gas prices dropped substantially for May, but even excluding food and energy products, prices were broadly flat, evidence that inflation trends improved. Oil prices, of course, have rebounded in recent weeks after a collapse in the Iran ceasefire, and that means things probably won't be as good in July for numbers as they are in June. Speaking of that rebound in Iran fighting, the U.S. launched strikes on Iran early today, hours after President Trump vowed to reinstate an American blockade of Iranian ports and charge ships for safe passage through the Strait of Hormuz, although he now has said he would not charge ships. Iran responded with attacks on Middle East allies in the U.S. Latest exchange of fire leaves in tatters. That interim deal meant to pause the fighting, reopen the waterway that's key to world energy, and give negotiators time to hammer out a permanent end of the war. Instead, fighting has once again engulfed the entire region, threatened the global economy, and brought warnings to commercial airlines. Middle East watchers say unless a diplomatic solution is found quickly, it could intensify into all-out war. South Carolina Governor Henry McMaster yesterday appointing the late Senator Lindsey Graham's sister, Darlene Graham Nordone, to finish his Senate term, which ends in January. McMaster said Lindsey took care of his little sister and years long departed. It's my honor to ask his little sister, Darlene Graham, to finish his work for him now. And Nordine will be able to serve until at least January 3rd when a new Congress convenes. The Trump administration this morning ordered immigration and customs enforcement officers to halt most vehicle stops around the U.S. while carrying out operations. And according to people familiar with the matter, the order comes after ICE officers killed 2 people over the past week, one in Houston and one in the coastal city of Biddeford, Maine. Both were shot after agents tried to stop their vehicles, according to the Department of Homeland Security. The pause on vehicle stops could hamper the agency's ability to increase arrests as it faces increasing pressure to deliver on the president's promise of mass deportations. But it comes as some influential lawmakers and state officials have demanded answers about the latest shootings. Senator Susan Collins of Maine, a Republican who is running for re-election this year, said in a statement this morning that the shooting in Biddeford raised important questions and said she had urged Markwayne Mullin, the Homeland Security Secretary, to, quote, cease all non-urgent vehicle stops. Took a while, but E. Jean Carroll now has her money. 3 years after a federal civil jury held President Trump liable for sexually abusing and defaming her, more than $5.6 million, including interest, was dispersed today from funds that Trump had to hand over to be held while he pursued his appeal. The move follows a couple of weeks of wrangling over whether the president had reached the end of his fight against paying his accuser. U.S. Supreme Court decided not to review Trump's appeal June 29th. Carroll asked the Manhattan trial court to order Trump to pay the $5 million judgment. Trump fought that request, but a federal judge ruled July 8th that it was time for Trump to pay. In a separate case, a Manhattan civil jury also awarded Carroll $83.3 million from Trump in 2024, based on the conclusion that Trump defamed her in 2019 when he first denied the allegations. Trump's appeal in that case still being litigated. 5 relatives killed, 2 relatives hurt in targeted shootings against a family in Illinois. 7 family members were shot at 3 locations, a park and 2 homes, in the East St. Louis area this weekend, with 5 victims dying from their injuries. The 2 suspects, a 15-year-old and a 16-year-old, taken into custody on Sunday with charges expected, according to police. At least one of the suspects is related to one of the victims. While the motive remains under investigation, police say I think it'll become apparent over time. The 5 victims, a 49-year-old woman, a 74-year-old woman, another female aged 25, and 21 and 24-year-old males. No threat to the public at this point, police say.
You live until your mid-70s only to be done in by stupid teenagers.
And East St. Louis is in Illinois, and it's rough.
Yeah.
It's. I thought, as I was reading this, and I'm guilty of it too, since it's way down to my newscast, 40 years ago, that would have led every newscast and newspaper in the world. But here it's a little blurb in the paper and a little blurb on my news.
Yeah, just a side note. What a tragedy.
Is it just because we've been so desensitized? Is that the deal?
Yes.
Yeah. A group of 12 state attorneys general filed a lawsuit yesterday challenging Paramount Skydance's proposed acquisition of Warner Brothers Discovery. The lawsuit, which came after weeks of speculation on if and when it would be filed, seeks to block the merger on antitrust concerns. The merger deal would combine 2 storied film studios, Paramount and Warner Brothers, as well as streaming platforms Paramount Plus and HBO Max. Paramount CEO David Ellison had previously said the streaming services would become one following the transaction. This would also mean the formation of the largest portfolio of TV networks in the U.S., bringing together Paramount's broadcast network CBS and pay TV channels like MTV and BET with WBD and CNN, TNT, and others. The lawsuit raised concerns about the size of the combined company, adding that the merged entity would control nearly 1/3 of films and nearly 1/3 of basic cable TV programming. Minnesota, if you're wondering, is one of the 12 states involved in the lawsuit.
And to recap that most latest news story, here is Garage Logic's Joe Souchere.
What?
What?
Paramount is getting sued.
Yes.
Yeah,
I find myself
gotta
watching. Chris, I think I spend more time watching just plain old YouTube
Yes.
than anything else now.
They've made it so complicated. It's just easier to pull it up on YouTube.
Yeah. If I could get by without having a subscription service. I think ironically, my service is YouTube TV that I pay $80-some for. I could get rid of that and just watch regular YouTube and be happy, as long as I have that illegal sports channel.
Yep.
It's not illegal.
It should be, but I'm glad it's not.
Yeah, I have no idea how it's not, but yeah.
Thank goodness.
A 67-million-year-old Tyrannosaurus Rex fossil nicknamed Gus sold this morning, Sotheby's auction, for $50.1 million. The T-Rex was unearthed in South Dakota, 38-foot-long specimen and one of the most complete T-Rex skeletons ever discovered. Commercial paleontologists began excavating Gus in 2021 on a private ranch within South Dakota's Hell Creek Formation, where over 95% of T-Rex museum specimens have been discovered. Gus was bought by an anonymous buyer, so it's unknown if it'll be housed in a museum setting. Measures about 12.5 feet tall, 38 feet long. Skeletons suggest Gus was a very large creature, lived about 67 million years ago. If you're wondering, the old record for a dinosaur auction belonged to Apex, a stegosaurus that sold for $44.6 million a couple of years ago.
What do you put it in your rec room, or what do you do? I wonder.
If you're rich enough, I suppose, if you got a big rec room, you just put it in there.
I wonder why the dinosaurs all settled in South Dakota there.
Is that
area
by the, it's east of the Black Hills, right?
That I do
I
not
would
know.
think so, because the Black Hills are on the border.
Badlands area.
A Florida man, I'm not too sure about this story, but we'll move forward with it. Florida man found guilty yesterday of having sex with a vacuum cleaner outside a home in a gated resort community.
I did have a relationship with a vacuum cleaner.
That sort of relationship?
No.
Oh, okay, good. 51-year-old Kevin Westerhold entered a
It
no
wasn't
contest.
physical. It was just more emotional.
Not Herm, Kenny. It was
Kerm.
K.
Oh, I got her name wrong.
Yeah.
51-year-old Kevin Westerhold entered a no contest plea to indecent exposure in connection with the incident earlier this year at the Windsor Hills Resort in Kissimmee. Following a plea negotiation with prosecutors, he was sentenced to 12 months probation, fined $271, and ordered to undergo a psychosexual evaluation within the next month.
Did he have to bring the vacuum with him to the council
An
meeting?
An evaluation? Who among us hasn't thought about it at least,
Well,
5-6
I
times?
haven't, to tell you the truth.
what?
I haven't.
And not out in the front yard, Kenny.
No.
I mean, Westerhold was originally
He
charged.
wanted an audience, is what you're saying.
Was officially charged with a felony. That count was subsequently reduced when
Are we
he was.
talking shop vac or?
Well, yeah, the
According-
bigger one, obviously.
According to police reports, a witness provided investigators with pictures and videos. I'll try to be delicate here. Showing
I
what-
want you to be really delicate.
Was he
'cause
doing
Kenny's
a ride 'em
here.
cowboy thing,
No,
like he
Kenny.
was slapping the side of the vacuum cleaner?
Show- The police report said Westerhold was, quote, pleasuring himself with a vacuum in broad daylight. Witnesses say he was naked from the waist down. The
Porky
detective,
Pig in it, yeah.
a detective in the report said he continued to,
Whatever.
use the handheld section. How's that?
Let's just move on to maybe the next story.
Well, okay.
Wife was out of town.
You're assuming there was a wife.
No,
No,
I'm assuming there's a next story.
No, obviously there was. Otherwise, he wouldn't be so starved for affection.
Yeah.
Westerhold lives with his wife.
Okay.
A nurse. She's in Oviedo. Is that? I don't know how to say it. It's a city in Florida, Oviedo, about 35 miles away from the Windsor Hills Resort. So he was away from home. So maybe that enters into
lonely.
it. Yeah, that enters into it possibly.
How would that even work? I don't get it.
Well, I tried to
well,
explain, but you stopped
Yeah, I
me.
should stop you.
When a man, I mean, isn't it obvious?
I guess I don't want to think about it. Thank you, Johnny.
You'd rather read a book?
I'd rather read a book.
Rather read a book. Thanks.
Thank you, John.
Yeah.
This guy wears many hats, just not indoors. Joe Souchere.
Quick shout out to the Hoffman Water family. Thank you so much for the 4th of July gift. You guys would have really enjoyed the cheese curds. You guys would have really enjoyed the sausages. Unfortunately, they didn't make them out of the building. So I just took care of it for you all.
Who didn't make it out of the building?
The gift pack sent by Jim and the entire team at Hofferman Water, thanking all of the support from the Garage Logic podcast.
Yeah.
So I just took care of it. I figured that was probably best for everybody involved. Anyway, Hofferman Water and Connecticut are here for you, and they want to help upgrade the quality of the water inside of your home. They did that for me. That's how this relationship started. I was a customer of Hofferman Water and Connecticut, and it's been a great relationship for, almost a decade now. And it's going to make an amazing difference in the quality of your water, but you have to get on that schedule. Right now is a great time. We're in the midst of summer. Get on the schedule. Call them up directly at 612-895-2440, or better yet, book your appointment online at hoffermanwater.com. And as long as you're on that website, you can see every single different water treatment system that they have to offer, whether it's a new water softener, an iron rust and odor filtration system, or a brand new drinking water system. Or you know what? Treat yourself and get all of them. Why not? You only live once. HoffmanWater.com. They have been proudly serving the state of Minnesota for over 50 years. Please do me a favor and mention that you heard about them right here on the Garage Logic podcast.
It apparently already transpired.
You can't get fooled again.
They already held it. The comments by Sheriff Bob Fletcher, Ramsey County Sheriff, he pointed out that there is some Somali gang activity that needs to be curtailed. And he's really been getting a lot of backlash on that. And there was a press conference put out yesterday that said Somali American elected officials and community leaders will hold a press conference regarding comments made by Bob Fletcher during the July 6th broadcast of his YouTube program, Live on Patrol. That press conference was this morning. The Somali-American partnership is unequivocal. Violence must be confronted. Those who cause harm must be held accountable. And every family deserves to live in safety. Somali families, faith leaders, educators, community organizations, and elected officials have long worked to prevent violence and support young people across the Twin Cities. But public safety is not advanced by sensationalizing violence, making sweeping generalizations about Somali youth. I did not hear Fletcher make a sweeping generalization. Or using the authority of public office to publicly lecture and stigmatize the entire community. That's not what Fletcher did. He specifically pointed out, I am not indicting the community. I'm talking about Somali youth gangs. The press conference will make clear that the choice is not between denying violence and stigmatizing a community. Minnesota can address violence directly, hold individuals accountable, invest in prevention, and build durable partnerships. Blah, 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 blah. Without racializing crime or placing Somali families under collective suspicion. Fletcher did not do that. This rhetoric is especially dangerous in the current environment. Somali Minnesotans have already endured escalating political attacks, dehumanizing national rhetoric, federal enforcement actions, and the public targeting of Somali children. Fletcher didn't have anything to do with any of that. Statements by law enforcement officials cannot be separated from that broader climate. Well, yes, they can. Yes, they can. But for your political purposes, you don't wish them separated. So who spoke at this thing? Omar Fateh.
Shocking.
State Senator Omar Fateh. City Council Member Jamal Osman.
No.
State Representative Mohammad Noor.
Really?
Additional Somali American community, faith, youth, and organizational leaders. Members of the Twin Cities Somali community. And that was today at the outside St. Paul City Hall and Ramsey County Courthouse. Okay, and it was, I guess, sponsored by Somali American Partnership. Well, once again, I had my little rant about this late last week, if not yesterday. You doth protest too much, Somali leaders.
Wouldn't they be better served by admitting, yes, there is a problem. Let's tackle this together. Somali leaders, along with law enforcement, let's take care of this, so we no longer bring people's critical eye to our situation, or whatever I'm trying to say. You can rephrase it.
That's always been my complaint: is why we refuse to acknowledge there's a problem.
Why are they not immune from scrutiny? Why are they not immune from consequences? Not the Somali community, the bad Somali kids acting out. And the Somalis acknowledge that. Yeah, we got to wrap up the crime. Okay. But then you use your entire press conference, and I'm sure you use the entire your press release, and I'm sure I'll see video footage of your press conference in which you're not going to tell me that. You're going to tell me how unfairly Somalis are being treated. Yep. I'm remaining calm here.
I just don't understand why we can't take care of it together. Why not take your connections to law enforcement and work together to solve this? Explain that to me, Joe.
The Twin Cities Crime Watch had a countering press conference. They point out the black community has been called out for gangs that terrorize the north side. Many have been prosecuted and sent away. The Asian community has been called out for gangs in St. Paul. They've taken accountability to address the issue. Why are the Somalis special? You are not immune from scrutiny and accountability. Many of you are ignoring your young people and letting them run wild. That is on you. Stop being in denial. I would agree with that. Stop being in denial. So, and Fletcher never went out of his way to point out anything except we have some Somali youth violence problems.
All I can do is speculate, and I'm wondering if if in fact these kids were probably born here and they're citizens. Are their parents, is this from being raised and living in Somalia where this sort of thing is the norm? Could that be it?
I don't know. We've got Asian gangs, we've got Hmong gangs, we've got black gangs, we've got Somali gangs. I think that, the gang ideology works across all ethnic lines and racial lines.
But to come after a guy like Sherriff Fletcher, he's about as straight a shooter as we have.
Well, they need somebody, and it doesn't matter who it is. They're going to come against. Amy could have said this. It doesn't matter who's saying it. No. If somebody says it, they're going to come out against it.
Well, A, Amy would not have said it, and B, if she did, somehow she would not be attacked.
Oh, I beg to differ.
Well, I hope you're right. Say, we have a controversy on the latest food fraud in guilty plea. According to a CBS News story, the 78th person charged in the Feeding Our Future fraud scheme has pled guilty. Abdirashid Bixi Dool, D-O-O-L, pleaded guilty to one count of wire fraud, 6 other counts, and he was federally charged with last November. 3 counts of wire fraud and 3 counts of engaging in monetary transaction in property derived from specified unlawful activity are expected to be dropped as part of a plea agreement, according to court documents. He was 36 years old when he was indicted. But the Center of the American Experiment, which has really kept close track of this is by Bill Glahn, said he's the 64th defendant to plead guilty. So I got to go with Glahn. I can't go with anybody except Glahn. He's been on top of it. This is one of the characters who claimed he was feeding 40,000 kids a week and ended up buying cars and houses and stole the money. But I don't know why we go from this. I'm sorry, conviction number 69. He was the 69th conviction, but Channel 4 for some reason lists him as the 78th conviction. I get it now. He was the 78th person charged. Now go to Glahn. He was the 69th person convicted. I think I got it now. Okay, I think I got it. 69 people have been convicted. 78 have been charged. And Dool, he had a great deal of fun with the money. He claimed he was feeding a lot of kids, and of course he was not. and we all have that.
Meanwhile, it sounds like it's not too easy to extradite these folks from Somalia back to the U.S. to face charges.
I don't think there's a system for that.
And if there is one, they're resisting it in Somalia.
And I believe Walls has formally oh, wait, I didn't want to do that right now. Wait, I have another a fraudster. Now, this one, maybe we can be more familiar with. This is a gal named Jill Mertens. She was former Miss North Dakota.
Wow.
And she was a Miss America contestant. She's 43 now. She's a Hamel, Minnesota resident. She's a singer, a pastor, and an evangelist. And going back even further, a pageant star. In 2001, she competed in the Miss America pageant after being crowned Miss North Dakota.
I think I'm friends with her on Facebook.
But it is Mertens' venture into the child care industry that brought her to court. State records show that in 2016, Mertens began registering daycares. Creative Stars Academy, Child Care and Learning Center in Casson, Minnesota, a second Creative Stars location in Rochester, and a Tree of Life Academy in Ramsey. All three child care centers received several complaints and violations in recent years, according to state data. During that time, Mertens was also defrauding a taxpayer-funded program to help pay teachers at child care centers like hers. Okay. Starting next year, Mertens admits to filing... Oh, wait. Governor Walz signed the Great Start Compensation Support Payment Program in 2023. I don't know what the hell that is.
I've never heard of it until
That's
now.
one of the new ones from Walsey.
Yeah.
Starting the next year, Mertens admitted to filing grant applications claiming 23 teachers didn't actually work, claiming 23 teachers who didn't actually work there, inflating the hours worked by another 11 employees for a total theft of $426,000. It's just very disheartening to see in the community that we have someone would even consider doing this, said Joe McInerney of Mantorville. He and his wife put down a non-refundable deposit with Mertens last year to hold a spot for their unborn child. I mean, everything looked like it was smooth, he said, and they didn't realize Mertens then filed for bankruptcy and transferred ownership of the Casson daycare last fall before the Fed's investigative took place. So she got herself in a bit of a jam here.
Read that next paragraph. I want to know your opinion on what they went on to say.
We had no idea she was committing any fraud. We didn't have any idea the daycare was in any financial hardship, McInerney said. Hopefully she has had some time to think about what she did and pay back her debts.
What do you think about that last sentence?
I don't know that she's worried about that. Jill Mertens and her attorney declined to comment after the guilty plea.
Joe, isn't that so typical, I don't know, Scandinavian?
Yeah.
Kind of looking at your feet and
Well, I hope
scuffing
she
the
does
ground.
all right, huh?
I sure hope she learned a lesson there.
The guidelines call for 2 years in prison, but the judge will have a lot of discretion. All of her daycares, including the Casson one where the ownership transferred, have now been closed. So
we have our first blonde.
It's a blonde, and quite a fall from Miss America contestant, isn't it? John, you're from North Dakota. Do you know Jill?
I do not know Jill, but I was wondering.
Just because they're from the same
it's a
state.
small
Same state, yeah.
Dakota, yeah. You'd think you would have known.
You'd think you might have known her.
How can you not know her?
When you saw her eyebrows, Kenny, I'm not sure she really is a blonde.
Oh,
So-
I haven't
Well, that's
seen a
just
close-up
mean,
of her.
John. That's just mean.
That's the first food fraudster whose name, well, it's a daycare fraudster whose name I could pronounce.
Jill.
Jill Mertens.
Mertens. You couldn't pronounce it.
Only because they come to us all the way from Marloth Park in Mpumalanga, South Africa, from the Traveling Lymans. It was on this day,
Joe, today is July 14th.
1864, 4 Minnesota regiments finally defeated their old nemesis, Nathan Bedford Forrest, in a battle at Tupelo, Mississippi. The 7th Minnesota Regiment played the largest role and lost 62 men. Colonel Alexander Wilkin of the 9th Minnesota Regiment was killed, making him Minnesota's highest-ranking casualty in the Civil War. On this day,
July 14th.
1901, a special act of the legislature released Jim and Cole Younger from the Minnesota State Prison in Stillwater. They had been incarcerated for the murder of an employee during the Northfield bank raid. Jim committed suicide in St. Paul, but Cole would tour on a Wild West show with Frank James, lecturing on what my life has taught me. He died in 1915, his body still holding 7 bullets. On this day,
July 14th.
in 1924, Lawrence S. Donaldson, founder of the first department store in the Northwest, died in Minneapolis. On this day,
July 14th.
in 1948, Hubert H. Humphrey gave a rousing speech on the subject of civil rights for African Americans at the Democratic National Convention in Philadelphia. Humphrey opposed an effort by Harry Truman supporters to put a weak civil rights plank in the Democratic platform in order to carry the southern states. The speech marked the beginning of Humphrey's rise to national attention and was a turning point in the Democratic Party's shift from a generally segregationist party to one advocating full legal rights for minorities.
Back to that Cole Younger story. Do you
Yeah.
remember the very end of True Grit, the Coen brothers version?
Yeah.
He was featured prominently.
Oh, that's right.
Where later in her life,
Oh, they were in a Western show then.
as an elderly lady,
Yeah.
she went to visit Rooster
Yeah.
and ran into Younger, and Rooster had just died.
God, that's a great movie.
On this day,
July 14.
in 1991, the Twins retired number 6, formerly worn by slugger Tony Oliva, who was the 1964 American League Rookie of the Year and 3-time American League batting champion, and God only knows what he would have accomplished with better knee surgeries.
Or sprinklers that didn't stick out of the ground.
On this day in sports disappointment history,
Joe, who'd we lose to on July 14?
in 1944, the Millerettes unknowingly played their last home game at Nicollet Park before becoming a permanent road team. They beat Milwaukee 7-6. On this day,
July 14.
in 2010, who's Kahn?
David Kahn.
David Kahn compared Darko to Chris Webber. Uncomfortable conversation, good luck. I don't know what any of that means.
He said it on the air when Chris Webber was doing the game, and it was mocked thoroughly.
What did he say?
He compared Darko to Chris Webber.
What
Who's
is
Darko?
Is Darko some kind of superhero?
He was a very, very
Comic book guy.
underwhelming second overall pick that the Timberwolves acquired.
Oh, he's a human?
It would be like comparing me to Joe in terms of talk show host ability.
Okay. I think
Well,
I got
that's
it.
insulting to both of you.
Thank you, GLers.
It's insulting to us for hearing it.
That's right. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Do us a favor and smash that like button and hit subscribe on the Garage Logic YouTube channel, where you can watch the show every single day starting at noon, and you can also see full segments. There's video shorts, there's behind the scenes footage. Just search Garage Logic, that's 2 words, on YouTube, and search for us on all of our social media channels. That includes Facebook, Instagram, and X. And also, if you haven't done so, sign up for the Daily Logician. That's a free newsletter that comes right to your inbox every single day, and it includes the most recent episode of the podcast. Find out more and sign up today online at garagelogic.com.